Take a breath, not the shallow kind you forget the moment you take it, but a deep breath that brings you back, in and out. Right now in this moment, you are alive. You are here. And that means you still have a choice, because life isn't just what happens to you. Life is what you decide when it happens. Most people live on autopilot. They wake up already behind. They grab their phone before they grab their mind. They chase noise, they chase approval, they chase comfort, and then they wonder why they feel empty. But you're here because some part of you is tired of that. Some part of you remembers the truth. A disciplined life is a peaceful life. A present mind is a powerful mind. And a soul aligned with purpose becomes hard to break. So today we return to the foundation. Presence, honor, the path. Not as motivation, as remembrance. Let's start with presence. Presence isn't just awareness. Presence is power under control. It's the ability to stand in the moment without running from it. Because most suffering is not caused by reality. It's caused by resistance. You resist discomfort. You resist boredom. You resist uncertainty. You resist the work. And when you resist long enough, you become weak. But the disciplined person doesn't run. They stay. They breathe. They observe. They choose. If you want to become calm, you don't pray for calm. You train calm. You train it in traffic. You train it when someone disrespects you. You train it when you feel misunderstood. You train it when you feel like quitting. Calm is not your personality. Calm is your practice. Here is the first principle of presence. You cannot control what appears in your mind, but you can control what you entertain. A thought arrives, a memory, a fear, a temptation, a doubt. It knocks on the door. Most people invite it in, give it tea, give it a bed, and then wonder why it refuses to leave. But a warrior mind does not do that. A warrior mind says, I see you, but you don't lead here. So the next time anxiety rises, don't panic. Name it, observe it, breathe. Say to yourself, this is a wave, not a command, and let it pass. Presence is not an escape from the storm. Presence is how you become the storm's master. Now let's talk about honor. Honor is not a costume. It's not a quote. It's not an aesthetic. Honor is what you do when no one is watching. Honor is choosing truth when lying would be easier. Honor is staying disciplined when nobody claps. Honor is keeping your word when it costs you comfort. And here's the harsh truth. You will never respect yourself if you keep breaking promises to yourself. Every time you say, I'll do it tomorrow, and you don't, you teach your mind that you cannot be trusted. Self-trust is not built in big moments. It's built in small, boring, repeatable obedience. You build honor like you build muscle, with reps. So I want you to ask yourself something simple. Where have I been dishonest with myself? Not dishonest with others, dishonest with me. Where did you lower your standards? Where did you make excuses? Where did you choose comfort over calling? Because the path begins the moment you tell yourself the truth. Honor demands a code, not a code you speak, a code you live, a code that shapes your decisions when emotions try to hijack you. Because your emotions are not your enemy, but they are not your leader either. You don't build a great life by following moods. You build a great life by following principles. So let your principles be clear. Here are 3 simple ones. 1. I keep my word. 2. I do what is right, not what is easy. 3. I choose discipline over impulse. That's it. If you live those 3, your life will change. Not because life gets easier, but because you get stronger. Now, the path. The path is what happens when presence and honor become consistent. The path is not a one-time decision. The path is a daily direction. And the reason most people fail is because they treat the path like a mood. They're committed when it feels exciting. They disappear when it feels hard. But the path doesn't care about your mood. The path responds to devotion. There's a reason the greatest warriors trained in silence. There's a reason stoic thinkers practice discipline in ordinary moments. There's a reason the strongest spiritual figures endured seasons of waiting. Because the path is not built on hype. It's built on endurance. And endurance is the highest form of faith. Faith is not a feeling. Faith is a stance. Faith says, I will do what is right even when the outcome is unclear. Let me give you something practical. If you want to walk the path, you need structure. Not rigid perfection, structure, because freedom without discipline becomes chaos. So here's a simple daily structure you can start today. The presence ritual, 2 minutes. Inhale slowly. Exhale longer than you inhale. Relax the jaw, drop the shoulders. Focus on one sentence. I am here, I am guided, I am steady. The honor ritual, 1 minute. Ask, what is the right thing today? What is the hard thing today? Will I do it? The path ritual, 5 minutes. Choose one priority, not 10, one. Then do the first step immediately, because clarity is not found by thinking. Clarity is found by moving. Now listen carefully. The biggest enemy of your path is not failure. It is distraction. Distraction is a slow betrayal. It doesn't attack you violently. It steals from you quietly. 1 hour scrolling, 1 night wasted, just this once, one excuse, one shortcut, and then one day you wake up and realize you've been busy, but not becoming. So the question is, what are you feeding every day? Because what you feed grows. Feed your discipline and it grows. Feed your faith and it grows. Feed your focus and it grows. But if you feed weakness, weakness will become your identity. Here is a hard truth, spoken with respect. If you can't control your attention, you can't control your life. Your attention is your life. Where your attention goes, your spirit follows. So guard it. Guard it like a gatekeeper. Not everything deserves access to you. Not every conversation. Not every video. Not every temptation. Not every thought. You are allowed to protect your peace. You are allowed to say no. You are allowed to disappear from noise to build something sacred. And yes, there will be days when you don't feel strong. There will be days when your mind is heavy, when your emotions are loud, when your discipline feels distant. Those days are not proof that you're failing. They are proof that you are human. But here is what separates the strong. The strong don't ask, do I feel like it? They ask, what is required? And then they do it, calmly. Even if the only thing you can do today is a small step, do it. A short prayer, a clean meal, a walk outside, a workout, a journal page, a quiet moment. Small obedience is still obedience. Now let's talk about courage. Courage isn't aggression. Courage isn't loud. Courage is doing the right thing while your fear is still in the room. Courage is saying no when temptation calls. Courage is apologizing when pride wants to win. Courage is returning to discipline after you slip. Courage is not never falling. Courage is always returning. So if you've been off the path, come back. No shame, no drama, just return. You don't need a perfect restart. You need a clean decision. And if you feel lost, if you feel like you don't know your purpose, start with this. Purpose is not always a grand mission. Sometimes purpose is simply becoming a person of integrity, becoming emotionally disciplined, becoming spiritually aligned, becoming consistent, becoming reliable. Because the person you become is the foundation for what you're meant to do. The path reveals itself to the one who walks, not to the one who waits. So walk, even if it's slow, even if it's hard, even if it's lonely. Walk. Here's a final reflection. One day you will look back and realize your life was shaped by what you did repeatedly, not by what you wished, not by what you planned, but by what you practiced. So choose your practice wisely. Practice presence, practice honor, practice faith, practice discipline, practice courage. And when the noise returns, when the world tries to pull you back into distraction, return to the code, return to the breath, return to silence, return to the path. Let this be your closing vow. I will be present. I will walk with honor. I will follow the path. Even when it's hard, even when it's quiet,